This conference will now be recorded.
Sorry, that's loud.
Okay.
No.
Morning. We're going to start the meeting off with a pledge of allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Here we are at Marion County Commission this morning, March 23rd, 9 a.m. Let's see. I have a little bit to add to the agenda before I get started here.
Randy, can I
Yes.
remind you to speak closer to the microphone?
Speaker closer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm yelling. No. I have a little bit to add here. I just received a phone call from Randy Perdue. Under administrative business, after we get done with Tina, then before we go into the weed department, we'll talk about transfer station update from Randy Perdue. So that's that. Public comments first. We have no public in attendance here. So I guess that's, we'll move on with that and run right into administrative business this morning.
Okay.
Tina.
Really the first thing that I think on the administrative is the public health updates. And so we have Randy, Frank, and Deidre joining us.
Okay.
Hold on, I don't think we have a microphone here. Okay.
Is it on there?
Okay. He's just saying that he can't hear the commissioners very well.
Test
on the-
1, 2. Are we still good?
I can hear you now.
We can hear you now.
Okay.
Great.
Alrighty. Thank you.
I do have some, let me get that. Okay. Are you ready for Randy and
Yes,
Deidre?
yes.
Okay. Randy, Frank, and Deidre, I think we're ready for you.
Okay.
No, you're just hearing voicemail.
Okay, I just wanted to bring to light that COVID is a respiratory disease that spreads easily from person to person and may result in severe illness and death. Such conditions endanger the health, safety, and welfare of the residents within Marion County. To reduce the spread of COVID-19, CDC, KDHE, and myself as the local health officer recommend implementation of community mitigation strategies to increase containment of the virus, including large gatherings and social distancing in smaller gatherings. In concert with Dr. Hodson, the Marion County Health Department medical consultant, as a local health officer, I am ordering the following. 1, all large public gatherings of people in the county are prohibited. Large public gatherings are those with more than 10 people in attendance or anticipated to attend, both indoor and outdoor, except for government functions, judicial functions, and all deemed essential industries as defined by U.S. Homeland Security. 2, religious services, funerals, and memorial services as defined by the Internal Revenue Service are authorized to have more than 10 people in attendance, but they must ensure appropriate social distancing of at least 6 feet between non-cohabitating members. 3, all restaurants, dining facilities, bars, taverns, clubs, auditoriums, bowling alleys, fitness centers, swimming pools, and any public gathering locations or special events in Marion County, Kansas are hereby ordered closed to the public effective at 8 a.m. on Tuesday, March 24th, 2020 until April 7th, 2020, except that any such establishments may continue to provide carry-out, drive-through, and delivery food and beverage services. In all areas, establishments must follow the guidance provided by the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, federal, state, and local public health officials for social distancing and infection control measures. This order may be supplanted or modified as required for the effective and efficient management and control of the coronavirus epidemic in the county by further order or direction of the Marion County Board of Health or by the Marion County Local Health Officer.
That's what she's going.
I have also attached in your packets information and FAQs and also information on if you're ill, if you suspect you're infected with the COVID-19 virus.
And
Do
so
you
that-
have any questions regarding this?
So that packet,
Dr. Hodson is here attending the meeting also.
that packet she's referring to is on the screen right now, so those on the computer should be able to see it. And it's still also in your hands, commissioners.
Okay, so, you're not shutting restaurants down, you're just telling that, that they can have carry-out service.
That is correct. No dine-in services at this point.
What about workplace? If somebody has 10 or more employees,
Well, the Homeland Security has designated businesses, but at this time, we are not placing the restriction on businesses. We are hoping, because they are not technically public gatherings, we are hoping that they will practice social distancing. I know the banks are already doing that. Some of the other businesses, like larger industries, they might want to check and see what their essential and non-essential jobs might be. If they can allow people to work from home, that might be an option. Shifts, maybe work in shifts. People need to be creative how to follow that social distancing even in the workplace.
correct. And this, like you said, till April 1st, I believe? 7th?
Till April 7th.
April 7th. Any questions by the commission? I hear no questions by the commission.
I believe she said that Dr. Hodson was there. I didn't
Yeah.
know if he had any comments.
Do you have any comments, Dr. Hodson?
My only comment is that we're really trying to get people to take this physical distancing very seriously. Over the weekend, I saw a lot of people out and about, which is fine if they are at distance, but many of them weren't. If we look at the recent evidence and data from China, most of the people who actually ended up being quite ill with this disease and in a dire situation got it from someone who didn't even know they were ill. So the problem is you could be perfectly fine, next person next to you could feel perfectly fine, you could be passing the virus and then go pass it to an elderly person that could lose their life because of it. People need to understand that the distancing isn't about them, it's about protecting the portion of the population that cannot tolerate the disease.
Okay. Is there going to be, if anybody has any questions, who will be the reference point for them to call? Adri?
If they have questions about this order, they can call the health department. We also want them to call the health department if they've traveled. And as we know, there was a mandate earlier by the governor that the travel was for the 4 states. If you have traveled to Washington, California, Florida, and New York, you were to be in quarantine. That, I want to remind people, that is a mandate. And so they are to be in quarantine if they travel to any of those states or any of the 4 counties in Colorado. Now, if you've traveled to other states not listed there, you can contact the health department and we'll determine, and we will probably suggest, we have a way, even the public has a way to look up what states have community transmission. And if they have community transmission in those states, we are strongly recommending they self-quarantine. But that is not a mandate yet. But we are hoping that people, like Dr. Hodson said, take this serious to protect the population who are at risk.
Correct. Okay, I'm just asking, since I don't have a legal counsel here, you will sign this tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock? It's already signed.
It's already signed, and Brad has looked at this. I have been in contact with him yesterday, and he has looked at it and said it looked fine.
Okay.
But it is, so it will be in effect as of 8 a.m.
Correct. Well, I'm getting that. What does the commission have to do? Just enforce it?
Yeah, help us. Just support the order, help us enforce it, and encourage people to abide by it.
I
Give a blessing.
I want to say thank you for your work on this. I think the whole thing is to get ahead of this curve. I think that's what it's about, and to try slowing this down, because it seems like once it starts, it runs pretty rampant. And so I cannot do anything but support you in what you've done. And we will try doing our best to support that. So, thank you for getting on. Is there anything else you want to talk about this morning?
I just want to kind of update you on what we've been doing. The KDHE has daily calls Monday through Friday. We have weekly calls with the local hospitals, and Dr. Hodson is involved in those also. Then I do attend Randy's calls, and I'll let him talk in just a minute. I do want to encourage people, you know, the schools were canceled for a reason. The governor felt that it was very necessary to do that, so I would encourage that students kind of limit their contact also, and just respect the reason that schools were canceled. Okay, Randy, Frank.
Good morning. Since the declaration was signed here in the county on the 16th of March, we've activated the emergency operations center, and it's been running 12 hours a day, 7 days a week to stay on top of this. We're in constant contact with the state and numerous officials, the school systems. We're working with them on the issues that everybody knows they're facing. As Deidre mentioned, we're on multiple conference calls, 3 to 4 a day, to try and stay on top of this. We monitor the events that are going throughout the state on WebVOC. And when supplies are requested, they're sent through me to approve and then push on up to the states, so that we can get what we need. Supplies that the hospitals and the rest homes are requesting. And our emergency management resource group, we've been working on an issue with the EMS groups, because they will be probably in contact with these folks more frequently than anyone else. And our concern is if we quarantine our EMTs, we're going to run out of EMTs. We're trying to find a way to help supplement that. I think we're about to a decision where that's going to help them out, using some other creative ways to make things work, possibly having one EMT on an ambulance at a time instead of 2. and then using a driver from another function. That hasn't been approved yet, but that's one of the things we're looking at to try to help them to continue doing what they need to do to keep us healthy and safe out here. It's going to take a long time, and also to help clarify some of the rumors that are going around. Those who have seen the military out and about know we're not having a martial law that's not even being considered. They're actually delivering the supplies to the communities that need them, medical supplies. So if anyone brings that up again, let them know that they're actually trying to help us and not do anything, that people have been talking about. That's what I have for the moment. Thank you.
Thank you, Randy. We let you talk today. I guess Tina didn't let you talk the other day, but we'll let you talk today, so, at the meeting.
I appreciate that.
Thank you, and then the National Guard, like I said, they are here to help. They are not doing anything else other than that, correct?
Yes, sir, that's correct. They're delivering supplies for the hospitals and medical clinics.
Any questions by the commission?
Yeah, is
Hold on a second. Who's on? Jonah?
Jonah.
Yeah, Jonah.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Henry?
Yes.
Yeah, I noticed that Reno County has went ahead and started putting restrictions on travel to Kansas City in certain areas. Are we looking at any of that?
We haven't looked at that. Now, I would encourage employers that they might, suggest to their employees that they not travel to those areas. I have done that with my employees. I haven't told them they can't, but I strongly suggest, because they probably will be in quarantine. That is not an official KDHE, but Johnson County does have community spread that was determined. So if anybody calls us, we will suggest they go into self-quarantine for 2 weeks. And I don't know, Dr. Hodson might wanna say.
I agree with that. I would say, if you have your choice not to go to Johnson and Wyandotte County, I would say just don't go. And anyone who has been there, when they come back, it would be very prudent if they could work from home and self-quarantine as well. The only way we're going to get this in our community is from other people, and I don't think the risk is worth it at this point. We want to hold it off as long as possible.
And then one more thing, the mandate, the March 18th mandate that came out on the travel restriction, I just wanted to remind everybody it's been updated, but they did not update the date. They added an amendment or a clarification to it that's, it has to do with medical essential personnel.
Correct. And that's what people need to be aware. These mandates, these guidelines that are put out, they can change day to day. They can even change hour to hour. We've seen things change several times, even over the weekend. So please refer to the KDHE website, and for daily, we want you to monitor it daily for updates on guidelines.
Okay. Anything else?
Just one other thing, the Small Business Administration did approve a disaster declaration for the state of Kansas. So those types of loans will be coming available here real soon for businesses that have been affected by this event.
Randy, in your opinion though, the time it gets down to our very small business of either cafe business or just small business in our town, is it going to be any sizable amounts that they can go for, or is it going to be down smaller amounts?
I believe the amount of the loans right now are up to $30,000.
This will be a loan?
Yes, sir, it's a small business loan, but the other piece that most people are thinking about is the money that's being pushed out from the Senate and the House with the president is a different one, and that's designed, right now it's designed, they haven't passed it yet, but what they're looking at designing is if the company or the business uses it in the correct way, it might be a forgivable loan, but that hasn't been put out to be factual yet, but they're trying to move it that way.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all got to do with you holding on to your employees to forgive that loan. That's what they're working towards.
Yes, sir.
Randy, being we don't have radio station, television station, anything like that in this county, how are we gonna get this word out in less than 24 hours? I know we've got Facebook and website, but is any other creative
Those will be
ways?
used. Yeah, those will be used, and when we get off the webinar here, I'll be sending it up to the state of Kansas since it's been issued now, and then I'll also send it out to the major television stations as a release that has been done.
Okay.
Commission, just want to catch you up here. If we put this 10-person mandate, the 10th person just walked in this room, so we have to figure out something that we would do from here on for this. Because right now we have 10 in this room.
I'm not going to be very long.
Yeah.
Also wanted to mention to the commission so that you're aware that the Attorney General did issue guidance for communities, like for organizations, government organizations on open meetings and how you can hold your meetings with limited public access. There are some specific guidelines, and so when we get finished with the meeting, I will send that out to all of you so that you're aware of it. I will also be sending it out to all of the cities so that they're aware of that guidance of how we can continue to offer transparency while limiting the in-person meetings.
Okay. Okay. If ever want any more from Randy or Deidre.
Can I ask a question?
Okay, Dave, go ahead.
It's a true or false question, I guess. Can the virus live on packages that UPS delivers for 24 hours?
We had that question a lot of times. The answer is a little complicated because, as you've seen on the news, there have been studies that show that the virus is alive on cardboard for a long period of time. That said, there has not yet been an identified case from someone actually picking something up off of that cardboard and getting the disease. What I recommend to people, you get a UPS package, you open it, you take whatever it is out of your box, you throw the box in your recycle or wherever you're going to put it, out of reach and out of touch. Then you go wash up well and clean yourself off with the 20-second hand washing. And if there's any question that the box got on any other surface in your house, cleanse it with some sort of approved cleansing wipe or cleaner, and you should be completely good in that scenario.
It's because all our UPS comes from Johnson County.
You're right. I wish I could tell you, we're in the early stages of what really happens with this virus, but what I just told you is your best bet at making sure that you're not going to contract it and you pick up. And I've told people the same thing with mail. If they're worried about that, they move their mail to a place where they can lay it down, open it up, discard all of the outside paper, then wash themselves up well as they clean up the counter where they had their mail. I personally am not really very worried about that situation. I think the transmissibility from a service like that is going to be found to be very low.
Okay. For the general public that's watching today, I think Kent's question was, how can we get it out to the general public? For you that's watching, I believe you can encourage some of your friends, some of your followers to come watch this first part of the meeting today, and they'll hear it right right up front. So I think that's a good question that we've asked, and hopefully it happens to where everybody can pass this to other people, what the rules are and stuff like that. So with that, I guess I'm opening for the final statements anybody have on this subject.
Yeah, I would,
I'm not opening it to the public.
I thought I said anybody. Excuse me for breathing.
So, do you have any, Deidre or Randy or Doc?
I would just encourage people to practice the social distancing and respect the order with not attending and not holding gatherings less than 10 or greater than 10, and good hand washing for 20 seconds, as Dr. Hodson mentioned.
Okay. Thank you guys, and I know you're working, like you said yesterday, and a lot of time on this. Appreciate it. If you need anything from the commission, please call so we can get to work to help you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Closing them out. Any commission comments? Moving on to administrative business.
Did you want to do the, well, I didn't know when you want to do transfer station. I do have a couple of salary sheets here that need to be taken care of.
Randy, I would just like to say my brother lives in Lenexa, and it's in Johnson County, and they locked down up there. And that I accept essential people, but his whole family's essential people. And just kind of, they went to the, his son works at the Hy-Vee up there, but anyway, he said they don't have any meat up there. Anyways, you know, as far as all the meat supplies. And they usually always have meat.
Okay.
Anyway, that's my opinion. Thank you.
Mackenzie Young is a part-time custodian at $10.50 an hour.
And she is helping us. I was initially bringing her in as a contractual person, but she's been working enough hours that I just am gonna put her as an employee. We do have one out right now, so.
Oh boy. Ivy Jellison. This is 6-month raise as a 911 system operator from $14.48 to $14.62.
We do have one early check.
Oh, that's okay. We have one check for transfer station of a total of $105,235.28. This is still just that first payment, correct?
Correct. Jonah, I'm gonna probably use your stamp on that if we have your okay on that early check.
You have my okay.
Okay, thank you.
You have my okay.
Thank you. Okay, and that was all that I had.
So I have one thing in administrative, if I may.
Go ahead.
And that is, there's a meeting at Clay Center, and I did sign up for it, and I'm gonna go ahead. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna be able to make that.
Well, that's been canceled.
Oh, I didn't get notification that was canceled.
I'm sorry. The meeting at Clay Center is canceled. Here's your notification. I'm sorry, we've had a few things going on, so.
Yeah.
We took that for granted.
I thought you would just
I
assume
figured
that,
it would,
but,
yeah.
I did assume it, but I,
but
Right.
it is
Also
canceled.
include me.
It's officially canceled. Thank you for bringing that
That
up,
was to be
Diane.
this week sometime, wasn't it?
Tomorrow, yes.
night, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm sitting here just before we started the meeting, a few minutes, Randy Perdue, our engineer from Transfer Station, called and didn't give us good news. They're digging down there, they're finding contaminated soil, like the other contaminated soil. This contaminated soil was also planned on being reused, which it will not be now. So not most likely it will. It'll create us to go by fill to bring back. We'll also have to figure out a way to probably take this out and farm it out like we did the last bunch. Josh, probably, you're not on yet, but I'll probably make that comment to you that if you can come up with a way that, or a place, or if there's a truck down there, they can load it in, just have them put it in, and I suppose maybe Randy won't let you do that yet. Maybe I better say, talk to Randy first and get his okay, whether we can start that process or not, whether he wants it just to set off to the side like it did last time, and so, but I guess that's the bottom line to it, is when they're digging, they're finding this contaminated soil, and
Doesn't surprise me.
no, I mean, it's something we might have expected, so that's the only update that I have as far as from Randy Perdue on the phone conversation on the, and I thanked him for letting us know so that we're all up to speed on it. So that's the only thing I have on that update. Tina, you're done then for administrative business. Gonna move right on to Josh with the weed and transfer station.
Morning.
Good morning, Josh.
I did get a call, well, my driver got a call Thursday about Fort Riley. They're not accepting any recycle because of the virus, so I had to send him to Hutchinson. I did call down to Hutch, talk to them. They're not planning on doing anything, but they said that could change. I said,
Hey, Josh, would you mind putting that mic up a little bit, and that, because we have people that aren't in the room. Thank you.
So I did talk to him, Keith down at Stutzman, and I said, if you guys are gonna do anything, let me know so we can try finding an alternate route or something else to do. But they're not planning on changing anything right now, so we'll just be taking it to them for now.
To Stutzman?
Stutzman's, yes.
Okay.
is that the one that costs us a lot of money?
Yes.
Yeah, $98.50 a ton.
How long do we think we might do that?
We'll have to decide pretty quickly.
Did we say just till the first of the month? Was that originally what we decided on, or something, or what? Did we?
No, we'd gone back to Fort Riley.
Yeah, but on the order, we'll take it there. I thought we give a date or something that we.
I don't think
pay
we
that.
gave a date. I think
It
you
was-
took a load or two there prior.
Yeah, we took load, and then it was just a backup if we need to take it there.
In that case.
That's what it was.
In that case, we need to contact City of Marion and City of Hillsborough and let them know what the issue is, and that at some point in the near future, we may have to go to the landfill.
Okay.
You still expecting one load a day? Or, I mean, one load a week?
No, right now it's every other week.
Every other week?
Every other week,
So
so.
about 2 to 3 a month.
Okay.
Take one pass it. To the weed department, my HHW, last week's meeting got canceled for my schooling. They rescheduled that for June 2nd to the 4th. My basic weed, this one I'm passing out, is been canceled. They're giving me a grace until next year. but I just trying to keep you guys up to date on this all. But there's, so. But other than that, that's all I had. I just trying to keep everybody up on date on everything.
All you can do is what you're directed to.
That's right, so.
And so, Josh, I would just ask again, and I know you're busy down there like crazy and everything going on and stuff, but it does seem to me like the trash is starting to, I mean, it's still all over.
I'm sorry, can you speak into the microphone, please?
Yeah, if you could kind of take a look at the trash.
Yeah.
That has been, it's over into that south lot quite a bit and stuff, and I know that's one of the least of your worries right now, but I think we're gonna have some people probably address us if we don't address it first.
Yeah.
So I just remind you. Thank you.
We're trying. I know the wind's got a lot to do on it too, but I try to keep my guys on it, so.
Okay, thank you.
And I have not had time to stop and visit with you and see how our operation is doing with part of the building gone now. What has it changed?
Really hasn't changed anything except for the recycling. We just bring that in on the Friday, but other than that, everybody seems to get along good with it.
You're storing it in a truck until?
Yep, we store it in our trailer until it's full, and then we take it to Hutch now.
Okay. And again, I think Diane's point is that, you know, certain things we do is we're doing it to try, but it comes to 100 versus 40 is what it comes down to as far as. And then I don't know whether this virus hanging on to cardboard, what we was talking about earlier, whether that.
I think it's supposed to go away in 24 hours.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm just afraid of the budget, you know, and I think we have to also provide essential services. We don't know, you know, like our employee benefits and things like that, rather than, and I don't want to say rather than recycling, but I mean, I think we need to prioritize here pretty soon.
Yeah, I think we need to look at it every 14 days.
Okay.
You know, and decide if we want to do this or go to the landfill.
Okay.
Okay. Josh, thank you for catching us up, and you know, we'll keep this. We appreciate it because we need to know that.
Yes. Yes.
So, if is there any advisors that you've got to speak with on any questions that you have as far as weeds or anything?
I guess kind of reach out to the other directors from other counties.
Okay.
The KDA, I just got an email from him. They are going on administrative leave, so he won't be able to answer phones, emails. So, but I lean on other counties, and
cool.
They don't mind helping me out. So.
Cool. Thank you. That's good. Appreciate that.
Well, chemical companies should be able to give you a lot of advice as well.
Yeah.
With nothing else in, no commission?
Nope, thank
Jonah?
you. Thank you.
Nope. Okay. Moving on.
Thanks,
Thank you, Josh.
Thank you.
Planning and zoning, Sharon?
Hey, this is Sharon. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Well, yeah, you didn't come in the door.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, Sharon.
Okay, I will attempt to present this remotely. Tina, can I try to take the screen?
I don't know how to do that.
Okay, I can do it from here, I think. Let's give it a try. No, it won't let me. Okay.
Hang on a second. Hang on a second. We got somebody coming.
Do you know how to do that?
Okay.
Hold on a second, we'll see. She's down at the bottom there. Right there, Sharon. Oh, this is just so interesting.
Like Christmas morning, huh?
Oh, no, don't get that guy up there.
Jonah really wants a close-up.
Yeah, see, we won't be able to see the screen and he.
Glad you dressed this morning.
Yeah, about time to smile.
All right, Sharon. Can you try it now?
Okay, let me see if I can get this to work here. Okay. Do you see what looks like a portion of a plat map on your screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, so a vacation request was filed by Rural Water District number 2. And I believe you all should have received the packets, and hopefully you've had a little bit of time to review that information.
Yes, it was in our packets.
Okay, on March 5th, a motion was passed by the Marion County Planning Commission to recommend approval of the requested vacation. It is a portion of Schlotthauer north of Patricia to 14th Terrace between Block D and Block G, and a portion of Patricia to 14th Terrace east of Schlotthauer between Block G and Block H, and the triangle-shaped area connecting the center points of those two named road rights-of-way up to the southwest corner of Block G, and the building setbacks on Block G of the East Shore Plat, Marion County, Kansas. It was recommended that all utility easements continue, and the new building setbacks, let me scroll down here. This is an aerial view of what that looks like. Proposed setbacks are 10 feet along the west boundary abutting Block D, 30 feet across the front boundary abutting road right-of-way, 6 feet along the south boundary abutting Block H, and 10 feet along the north rear boundary, and 20 feet along the east rear boundary of Block G. The motion was amended to include a utility easement, access easement on both sides of the center line. So right here, a vacated road between Block G and Block H, totaling 12 feet between the two blocks. And this was to allow utility easement through here to access this east side. Are there any questions from the board?
Yes, Sharon. Was anything else addressed down through there? This is up at the northeast corner of this East Shore. And you have on that very first map that you had up there, you have a utility easement across the whole back side back there.
Okay, which?
The very
this
first
one?
picture. No. Keep going the other way. There you go, right there. You see that the dotted
Okay.
line where it says Block H on the right-hand side of the, as you're looking at the map there?
Yes.
That is your back utilities back there. This has created a problem along that back side for utility companies and everything. If we can't get to it from the owner's property, it's very tough to work on. Electric companies and stuff, and I know the gentleman to the east has been very nice. I don't know their names or anything, but they've been very nice when utility companies do have to get in there. But if you had the whole picture of East Shore, you're coming right where it says blocks or lot 7. If you go down a few lots from that, you're going to come to another easement, I think, is not on your maps. Well, yeah, there it is. It is on that one. Yeah, I believe. Yeah, right there where your cursor is. Right in there, where the road goes through and everything. Is that an easement through there to get to the backside?
I think it's actually a little further south.
A little farther south?
Yes.
Okay, it probably is just a little farther south then, but, boy, I'm just saying that if we cut those two off, which the one going north, I don't have no problem with, I guess, because I don't think there's no sewer or anything, but all the way down the back side to the right-hand side, you've got sewer, electric, gas, telephone, water. Well, not water, I believe water's up front, excuse me. But there's a lot of utilities there, so as long as that middle easement is protected to get back there, as long as that guy lets us on his ground, why, this is okay. But I just wanted to throw in some extra. I mean, I've been out there walking that ground for 30-some years now, and so it's just it's a pain to maintain that back to get there with equipment when needed. So.
Yes, and that issue was brought up.
Okay.
That's why the Planning Commission is recommending to keep the utility access easement right through the center of this. If you
Okay.
can see my cursor,
Yeah,
that would allow access to this area back here.
okay.
One issue that did come up is that prior to my tenure with the county, and probably prior to a lot of people at the county, there were structures built in this easement along the east side. This side over here is private property and is not an easement. All of this along here. The easement is actually in the East Shore plat.
Correct.
So I understand it has been difficult to get equipment down to that east side already, and that's why we want to maintain this access.
They have even allowed temporary buildings to be pulled back over that easement back there. And if electric company lines all blow down or whatever, if they've got to get in there, those buildings will, they have the right, the way I understand it, to be demolished or moved if the best they possibly can.
I believe that to be correct. It is an actual easement.
Yeah. So I just want everybody to keep in mind that I don't know that this little spot up there is going to help us a whole lot, except they did keep us access to get back there, to go drive through that, going back to that pasture to your right, to the east side.
Right.
Okay.
Randy?
Yeah.
I got wind that that corner parcel is probably likely to sell. And there's a few residents that would like to have the choice of having the easements vacated after the purchase.
Can you explain what that might do? I mean, why afterwards, and why not now? Is this the laydown or the water district's asking right now, correct?
Yes.
Yes, Rural Water District filed the petition.
Yeah, I think the thing that was brought to me is about 7 different households out there were all concerned about if they were to buy the lot or something, they would want to determine what access they would want and not have to build the whole driveway on their property. I know that a few of them said that they were going to try to be there today. I don't know if anybody's in the crowd.
No, not at this time.
Okay. But I did say I'd bring it up on their behalf, that there's several residents out there at East Shore that would like to not see it vacated yet.
We may have some people on the computer. Is it okay if I unmute and see if there's anyone here to speak on that, Randy?
Well, let's try it. This is something new we're trying, but I think in this instance, maybe that would, if you had people, I would accept people from East Shore, correct? Is that what you were saying, Jonah?
So
Yes.
the applicant is online right now, so he may wish to speak also.
Okay.
I'm the property owner behind East Shore, Richard Meisinger. I definitely have some feelings on the matter.
You on the ground to the north, Richard?
The pasture behind East Shore, east of East Shore, all the way along from the road south, all the way up to where the water tower was, a whole half mile.
Oh, so you've been the nice gentleman all these years that I need to speak to and say thank you.
Yes, but it's a bit of a problem when trucks come in and when the ground is wet, you cut big ruts into the ground, which is what they've been doing. So I do not want my pasture to be the easement when they have the East Shore people have neglected to maintain the easement they have. Because of their neglect, my pasture ends up being the default or the go-to means, and that isn't right. And I want them to maintain the easement, not have some property owner come in and then undo what the zoning commission said to maintain the easement east of, I think it's Patricia off of Slaughter. And there's an easement on the map. I've looked and gone through all of everything pertaining to East Shore. There's an easement back there for that purpose, but people have not respected it. And my pasture should not be the go-to method to get access to their electric service back there because they failed to honor what their plat map shows.
Okay, thank you. That's good. I appreciate that. That's hearing right here. Was you at the planning and zoning meeting?
Yes,
I've
it
been to
was.
all of them, yes. I was
Okay.
at the meeting and voiced my opinion, and I was very happy with the opinion of the zoning committee, because that's what is right and makes sense. I'm just concerned that if some property owner comes in and then he wants to come and vacate it, that would not be right.
Okay, cool. Commission, you've heard that. Is there any comments back with Mr. Meisinger?
No, not for Mr. Meisinger.
Not
I do
No,
have a
I-
question, but not for
Okay.
this gentleman.
Okay.
I own property.
Any others?
I own property in the East Shore and was noticed on that, so I'll need to abstain.
Okay. Kent owns property there, so he will abstain from voting. Is there any other resident out at East Shore that's online?
Yeah, this is Brad Gorsuch, and I'm both a resident as well as I represent Rural Water District number 2. We are the applicant. To address the issue relative to people wanting to hold off on the easement, I believe there is no reason to hold off on this vacating of the easement. I believe we need to leave it as was agreed to in the planning meeting with the 12-foot utility access easement. The person, I think, is a little bit confused of what we're doing. I don't believe what we're doing will devalue. We're not allowed any potential owner to do what they need to on their own property. So I personally feel we need to make a vote today, and I'm obviously for this. There's a couple economic issues here, first and foremost. The reason to get rid of those easements or vacate those easements is to make that lot a large enough lot to build on. The lot's current or past usage was to house our water tower. It was set up, we've removed the water tower, and we need to, and it's currently tax exempt property. So this is a piece of property that when sold will be East Shore residential and go onto the tax roll. Our desire obviously is to put a big enough lot that a value added structure could be put on it, and vacating these easements definitely helps in making this a very a good lot. It would be like the 4th or 5th best lot in the East Shore subdivision by vacating these easements. That's all I have to say.
Okay, at this time, is there any more out there comments from the, I guess, video?
Either on the phone or on the computer.
I will, if no more is heard, I will close it to that video. Have you got that accomplished, Tina? Okay. Diane, you have a comment or question?
I do have a question. I'm looking at the minutes draft of that meeting, and I do see that Mr. Gorsuch recused himself due to a direct conflict of interest. And so therefore, I also noticed throughout the minutes, he has made multiple comments and so on and so forth. And the suggestions and stuff that he gave today is totally inappropriate. I think we need to disregard all his comments because he has a direct conflict of interest.
He excused
I can
himself?
answer
Yes,
to
he
that.
did. He
Okay.
recused, it says
I can answer
Gorsuch
to that.
recused himself due to a direct conflict of interest.
Okay,
But
Sharon,
yet he continued.
can you answer anything about that?
Sure, I can answer to that. He recused himself as a voting member of the Planning Commission. However, he He's on the Rural Water District and serves as the president for that board. So he spoke as the applicant, and that is appropriate in this case.
That is the exact reason why it is a direct conflict. And once he recuses himself,
Right.
he should recuse himself from comment as well. Not just.
He was the applicant though.
Yeah, but what Diane's getting at is if you recuse yourself, you're to do so without any sway of the, otherwise you would just abstain. If you recuse yourself, you shouldn't have tried to sway the conversation in any way.
Exactly. Thank you. Thank you, Jonah.
We've heard the comments, whether you adhere to them or not. There is some, what you're saying is correct, Jonah. And so, I don't know whether we can give an order to strike the comments or not, but at this time, but they've been said. But I think this is just more of a deal that we look at what is best for the county here and make that decision. Jonah, do you have any comments on it other than that, other than the other people after we've heard that?
No, just some of the people that have brought it up to me weren't aware of the planning and zoning one. It's typical. Not everybody pays attention to that, you know. And now all of a sudden it seems like they're getting blindsided. So maybe I guess I would make a motion to table this for a while.
I'll second that.
I would, if you would make that motion before I hear the second, I would like to know how long and what's your time frame.
Well, due to our current conditions and the possible auction sale, I would table it to the middle of May.
Okay, is that your motion then? Is that added to your motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to table it till the middle of May.
Okay, I hear a motion by Jonah to table this till the middle of May. Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
I have a second by Diane. Motion by Jonah. I will ask for, I've heard I have one abstention already due to owning property out there. Is that correct? Okay. That's B. Kent Becker. I will ask the rest of us for a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Diane? Aye. Dave? No. Randy? Aye.
Aye.
So there'll be 3
Aye.
to 1. And Jonah? Aye. So that, yeah, be 4 to 3. 3 to 1 to 1 abstention. There we go. We got it straight now. 3 to 1 to 1. 3 ayes, 1 no, and 1 abstention with Ken. Is that okay? So at this time, we'll put this off till the middle of May. I mean, it's definitely something that's out there. It's not that big a hurry. I would like to hear from some people on some other comments why that would not have to give us a 12-foot easement back to that on the going back to the east. So I guess at this time it is tabled till middle of May. Thank you, Jonah, for being in here.
Yeah, no problem.
Sharon.
Yes.
So now I'm going to turn it back to you. Do you have anything else that, in regards to this, that we need to know about so that we can try coming back at the middle of May and making a decision?
No, the only comment I have is that I understand some people may not have been aware that the public hearing was held. We do publish it in the official county newspaper at least 20 days prior to the public hearing. Notification letters were sent to the surrounding property owners in that area that would be affected by the vacation.
Hang on a second there. How far away did you go to all the property owners in East Shore, or just within a certain distance? I think is by your bylaws.
just we're required by law to send notification to the property owners that the vacation would affect. So this general area right in through here.
Okay, just what I see up
And
there.
then
Okay.
No, my property is south of that.
Well,
I was noticed.
That's what I was gonna say. Kent's property is a little farther south of that, and that's why I'm asking how far you went. Maybe another, maybe a little bit farther south then?
It sounds a little inconsistent to me. I mean, if this is the area that she's saying she notified, but yet she notified you a little further south,
That's what
and
saying.
she's saying by law, so I'd be interested to know what the law really is.
No, I didn't notify Mr. Becker. I believe Mr. Becker saw it in an agenda or in a public notice.
Okay,
The letter was
I may
not
be
sent
wrong.
to
I
me.
may
Sharon,
be mistaken.
Hang on a second.
I was thinking maybe I had received one when I talked to you, but maybe I'd just seen that.
Cool. I know you've got so many feet on your rules, I believe, isn't it, Sharon?
For a vacation, it's a little bit different.
Oh, okay, okay.
For something like a conditional use permit, yes, it's 1,000 feet. But for a vacation, there's a different statute that controls the notification area.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking of. I knew it was so many feet, but that was different, okay.
It seems to me like a vacation is the adjoining property owners.
Yeah, vacating is just adjoining property.
I believe so.
Correct, okay.
Thank you for that.
So, any more on this situation that you have that we need to be aware of?
I have nothing further.
Okay, we'll put it off till May and probably bring it back up on the agenda and see if there's anybody else comes in to talk about this. And I don't think we don't have to take it back to you guys, do we? Isn't it just handled right here with the public meeting?
Yeah, they've already recommendation.
Sorry, go ahead.
That's all right, Sharon.
No, I was gonna say, they really don't have to bring it back up because they've already issued their recommendation.
Correct. So is that correct, Sharon? Is that what I'm hearing?
I believe that's correct, yes.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure we was on the right path here. With that being said, then, if you have nothing else, I'm going to close out planning and zoning, Sharon.
Okay, thank you.
No, thank you for tuning in like that. That's cool. We're trying to accomplish something here, so good deal.
I'm glad it worked.
Yeah.
Ashley, sorry, not Ashley, Tina, I believe the screen is released back to you.
Okay, thank you.
You got it?
Yep.
All right. One small step for Marion County here.
I know, it's really cool.
Road and Bridge, Bryce?
Technology is great when it works.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. A couple things here. We had one of our big air hydraulic.
I'm sorry, can you please make sure you're speaking into the microphone so people that are listening can hear you?
Okay. We had one of our big air hydraulic jacks go down. We had to try to get it fixed. It was not fixable. So we went out and got quotes for a new one from two different places, Marion Auto as well as CarQuest. The lowest quote was $49.03. So I would ask approval to get one of those. If you'd like to see them, I sure can send them around.
What was the item?
It's a air over hydraulic jack. We use them to jack up 20 to 50 tons. They're operated by air, but yet they raise up hydraulically. So trying to find a bigger jack. Plus they're nice to have wheels. You roll underneath there.
I'd just like to hear both bids so that.
The bid from CarQuest was $1,049.03 and Marion Auto was $1,111.50 for the same jack. And this is what it looks like.
You say the same, is it the same manufacturer, the same?
Yes, exact same thing, same model, everything, so.
Okay.
That's why I wanted to try to compare apples to apples.
Commission, what was it, 1,043 what?
49.
1,043.49 by Marion Auto.
1,049.
49, okay.
And 3 cents.
3 cents, there we go, got the wrong 3. Okay, 1,049. The other bid was from Marion Auto, 1,011, $111.50.
Yes.
Do I hear any? $1,111.50.
Okay. So,
I'll make a motion to approve.
really not talking about that big of a difference, but if it's the same thing, you might as well go with the low bid.
For both Marion counties.
Yeah.
I would go ahead and make a motion to
Yeah.
accept the bid from CarQuest for 1,049. What was that?
3 cents.
3 cents.
3 cents.
Yes. Have a motion by Kent to go with the bid of $1,049.03. Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Dave.
I got a second.
Oh, I beat you in the meeting.
Third, yeah.
Third, you're third. Okay, second was Dave. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye, unanimous.
The other thing was brought back, did you guys get a chance to drive 90th or want to make a decision on whether we're going to go with the 2 or 3 inch on 90th?
Any final guidelines that you have, any difference after waiting a week?
Honestly, I mean, I think the 2 inch would take care of the would help the situation. It wouldn't be as much of a 3, but I think right now we could probably turn around and use that $100 and some $1,000 somewhere else for asphalt projects if we need to, so.
Yeah. This is not first, I mean, we've done this before.
Yeah.
Overlay on that, yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I think the 2 inch is gonna do, so much more than what we have now, so.
That was 200 and some thousand?
The 2 inch was $239,263.50. And that was without striping, which we'll do later.
Any discussion by commission? Today we're gonna take a vote. Do you have any final discussion? Do I hear a motion to go ahead and proceed?
I move that we go with the 2 inch overlay on 190th.
No, just 90.
90th.
90th.
Have a motion to go ahead with the overlay at $239,263.50 from Dave. This is 90th Street from K-15 west to the county line.
2 miles.
2 miles. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Kent. All those in favor, and I will call you out here by name. Diane? In favor? Aye. Dave?
Yes.
Aye.
Aye.
Kent? Aye. Randy? Aye. Jonah?
Aye.
Aye. 5-0.
All right. Do you guys want to sign this, or do you feel if I sign? I mean, and the other thing is we have $500,000 in the budget for blacktop. We have based on the budget, $5,402,000 in capital improvements, so I can take it out of blacktop projects. So that was my plan, unless otherwise.
I have signed this.
Okay.
Sounds
good. The last thing I had, well, the second to last thing is, the railroad is looking to put a cross arms on Diamond Avenue, north of Lehigh. It's like, what, 250 or somewhere around there. I met with them there several months ago. Basically, there's nothing for the county to do. It's all gonna be federal money and things like that. All we have to do is keep our advance warning signs, which we already have anyway, which is just the yellow crossbucks. So all we need is a signature for the 3 copies here. So I don't know if you want to do that, if you want to pass them on, do that. And just said not to date them because they're going to put the date on them when they're finally signed by everybody, and then everybody get copies back from them. So.
We'll need to take action to approve and then to sign it. And Randy, you signed the wrong section. You just signed over here. I'll take care of that.
Okay. I am the buyer, aren't I?
Sorry, I didn't have a sticker on it.
Yeah. Got my room.
There's actually 3 copies there. They're all tabbed for signature there. And I believe they asked for a test by the county clerk, so.
I'd make a motion to allow project number 57X-3090-01. It's a crossing of the Union Pacific Railroad Company's tracks. It's Diamond Road in Marion County, Kansas. DOT number 6029111S. That is my motion. Second by Kent. All those in favor, say aye. 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 Joy? Aye. Oh, this one's got stickies.
Yeah. Make sure he signs in the right spot.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. I need guidance.
Sign his own death warrant.
You can see the carbon copy underneath there.
Three of them. She's got them, she'll test them.
Yep,
And
no problem.
talk to her to get them.
Yep.
What else do you have, Bryce?
The only other thing was, we had the issue this last week, we were starting to haul hard rock in some of the places, and I was informed by the people who were hauling that the commissioner that showed up there wanted to discontinue hauling that rock at this time. And I guess the only issue that brings that up is, I want to work with the commission, but when I'm told by one commissioner instead of a group of those decisions, I guess I'm looking for guidance.
Okay.
So.
So, can I respond to that?
Yes, yes. go ahead.
Okay, so I was the commissioner, so might as well just say it, Bryce.
Well,
okay?
I'm just.
And I never spoke to you, so I didn't give you any instruction. I was just asked to come out and look at that rock, and I had said, they asked me if they should continue to haul it, and I do have samples of that rock, which I can show you. I brought it right here in this bag, and it is pathetic rock, really, basically all fines. And in putting it on the mud road was, I didn't feel was right. I said to hold off on hauling that till other commissioners came to look at it, which Randy was called.
Yes.
And so was Mr. Becker was called.
Yes.
So I did the right thing by calling other commissioners to come out and look at it. So I did nothing inappropriate, and neither did the truckers do anything inappropriate by simply asking what they should do, recognizing that the rock was probably inappropriate for that road. I mean, there's a lot of money that we're spending on rock. And the rock that you're putting on back by Mr. Becker's place, I think that's 290th and Diamond, yes. Now that come from Melbourne, if I'm saying that correct.
Right.
And that was a nicer rock, more appropriate to what I think the county is asking to be put on the roads. When we've seen it, we're paying, and you have a deep concern, just like everybody else does, the amount of money that we're spending on rock because of the commission, because of the condition of our roads. And so we're just trying to work together. I will also say that I feel like you're not willing to work together because nobody is attacking anybody or anything like that. And for me to invite the other commissioners to come out and look at it is appropriate. And so the rock that you had delivered at that particular place, I think came from Hartford, if I'm not mistaken. Which was one of the places, yeah, I think it came from Hartford, and which was one of the places that you said you were going to be buying from. So when we find that type of rock that's being delivered, which was very heavy because it was moist and because of all the fines, means we paid a lot of money for those loads. Now, I think also that particular rock would have been perfect on top of an already base. It would have been beautiful rock. It would have made it hard, and I think it would have been very appropriate. But to put it in the mud, I was not happy with it, and I did not want to make a decision, so I did ask the other commissioners to come out. It was my impression when I left there, I was with Randy Dalkey. I was not there when Mr. Becker was there. I was just there when Mr. Dalkey was there, which also was very appropriate. And I thought the consensus was that we were all in agreement. So, I'm sorry, but I will just speak from the heart, and I take the roads very serious. I mean, I get a flood of phone calls from people, and I just want to spend our money appropriate. I do remember Mr. Dawkey's motion that he made to buy the hard rock at the best cost, and I would just have thought and hoped that maybe there was a little more supervision on what we were buying.
And I think Bryce come back in and talked that way and told us he was gonna set these samples up and stuff like that. I think, Diane, the only thing is the reason when you called me, I was concerned, and I'd heard Kent say in the very same meeting that day, which was Monday, I believe, that he'd seen 290th. I had not seen 290th as of today. But, so that's why I called Kent, and to have him come look at it, give me his opinion. And after I heard his opinion, in my opinion, that we were still looking for some bigger rock that don't have as much fines in it.
Yes.
That's when I'd call Bryce to, in between all this calling around, and wanted him to meet, and he come out there and met me later in the day, and then Kent showed up while we was there talking. So the only thing, Bryce, is I think the chairman should be able to talk to you and call you at any time, and I think you've expressed that more than any. But as far as a commissioner just out stopping it, that's probably not appropriate for us, any one of us, when we're not acting as a chairman or a chairman. But we can at least call the other commissioners, get a concern, and then the chairman has to make that decision to whether there's appropriation. And if there's concern of 2 or 3 commissioners, then that's enough for me to say, stop it. If it was Jonah, if he was if he was a chairman, I think that would be probably his way to do that too. So that's what's happened at this point. We have stopped the rock hauling. I asked you to give me, see if we could come up with some prices for the harder rock, if there's any available. Is there any available?
Well, we told them when we went to them, said we were going to get X amount of tons from them based on that, and so doing that, basically they were going to hold that material for us, so that material is still there.
This is the material that Diane has,
yes,
that we laid on Falcon.
On Falcon, yes.
Okay.
And I guess what I'd like to say is I'm all for working together, but I did not hear from Diane directly. I heard from the guy that we've contracted to haul this saying, hey, I was told to stop hauling. And it's all about communication. I have no problem meeting anybody out there. You guys call in that out there, but that's the whole point is you guys wanted me to go out and do this. And honestly, that rock that's put out there, if you go drive it now, so much more different than what it was. That rock is wet. It's being dropped out of grain haulers, which is really not real conducive to haul this rock anyway. Any rock for that point, because of being wet, and they have to clean up their truck, but they obviously realize that they're hauling a backhaul. But that material, we put it down other places, same kind of stuff. It sets up very, very well. To say that it has too many fines in it, it doesn't have the fines. It has mid-size aggregate, and that's like anything else. Is part of the reason why we deal with potholes out here is we try to rate. By blading, we put the big materials back in those holes. How long do they stay? You've got to have this mid-size stuff to hold that stuff in there. Again, I'm willing to work with everybody and whatever else, but we just need to try to stay in communication and consensus on this stuff for that.
So I want to add one other thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so the way the things work is, okay, when we leave this room, the chairman is no more than a commissioner, has no more authority than anybody else does. You are the chairman while we're in the meeting, and that is it. To make a single decision, once we leave this room, we're all just commissioners. So when I called you to come out and looked, and Linda called you, I didn't mean I called you. So I kind of got caught up in this, okay? And I think I did the right thing by calling you to come out to look at it, okay? And if I remember correctly, I did get a text message from you that you also said you stopped all the hauling of the rock.
Correct.
I didn't stop all the hauling of the rock. All I did was told the trucker to hold off until the commissioners come out to look at it. So, and it was late in the day already. So, I mean, I'm getting thrown under the bus here, and that's not exactly what happened. And I will also say, ever since that happened, ever since Monday happened, I had sent some texts to Mr. Goebel for some other roads for rock and things like that. And normally speaking, when I do that, he usually sends a text back, you know, it's on the list, or we'll get to it in a couple days, or whatever the case may be. But he stopped responding to me, which is real communication. So, and that's okay. Now, I did get one text from him the other day, but I had sent several, one of the roads too that I had sent, and I sent on that, where the house burned, I had asked a week prior to that to have some rock put on that road, but the fire trucks ended up getting stuck, and I never heard a response. So I just want to say there is a disconnect in communication.
So then, the way you're putting it, then no commissioner has the right to say anything to Bryster through the week at any time.
That's not what I'm saying.
Well,
that's
it's just
not what I'm saying.
what you said.
I'm simply citing
we're
to
nobody
you.
till we're here. Okay.
I never said that. I said that, and
did.
you can bring up the Kansas Association of Counties book, and that will say, when you leave this office, when you leave this room in this setting.
Unless a commission has put a chairman to take care of this county.
That's correct.
And,
No,
and that has been done all this time, a chairman sure has. So
that has to still be a vote of the people to give the chairman authorization outside this board to do something.
Not a vote of the people, it has to be a vote of the commission.
Of the commission, yes.
And nobody's changed that.
Well, yes, they did, because we did not vote necessarily for you to make all the decisions on the rock. So I'm not blaming you for any decisions you made. I think you made all the right decisions. I'm not blaming you for that at all. I'm simply saying that I also made the right decisions, okay? By asking the other commissioners to come in and look at something. So if you're telling me that that's not the right thing to do, so then I guess going forward, then when you see a problem, then you have no right to call the other commissioners either. Am I right?
You're dictating our rules. I mean,
I'm asking you a question.
No, I'm telling you that you had a concern.
Yes.
I had another
I was
commissioner
notified of a concern. I was notified of a concern.
Okay, so I listened to your concern. I had another commissioner that had seen the other rock, whether this was the same or not. He made his opinion, and I seen it, and I don't think that was really what I made the motion for.
I have a copy of your motion. I have a copy of your motion.
But the Hard Rock,
and
when I consider Hard Rock, I think that everybody here considers not as much fines as what's in that package.
Okay, so what are we arguing about? Because we're in agreement with that.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Jonah has something.
Can I interject? No, when I had received word on it being AB3, I reached out and as Randy acting as acting chair, in full transparency, I gave him what I thought my answer would be on a stoppage of it. Because my interpretation of Hard Rock is not AB3, it is washed rock.
And you're considering this gray rock that we have is a AB3.
Well, if you're getting a lot of or small aggregate in it, I would assume that would be AB3. Bryce could tell me otherwise.
Yeah, I mean,
but
it's
I've been kind of locked up in this place right for a while, so.
Yeah, correct.
I guess the main thing that it's not considered a standard AB3. And I guess that's part of my problem is you guys told me to go out and try to set this up. I'm gonna put the best rock I can for what they have available in these hard rock places. I guess the main thing that all I'm asking for is communication. If you guys have a problem with something out there, I don't care who it is, give me a call, I'll meet somebody out there, I can make a conscious decision based on those rocks. There's nobody any more concerned about these roads than me. You know, I get calls from you, I get calls from people out there, we have to try to come up with the best solution to fix these problems. I guess that's all I'm asking for is the communication.
And that's what we're here for, that's what we stopped it, to come and talk about this and see where we're headed to buy the next bunch of rock. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, I'd also like to address the issue that, yes, I did not respond to Diane, and she said, well, she said that I didn't respond to it. When I said, well, or she didn't know whether I got it or I just didn't respond to it. Well, I said, yes, I did, thinking that yes, meaning that I had got it, and she took it that I hadn't responded. So it was one of those things where that's what was said. But regardless, like I said, I'm just looking, we're all in this together. We're trying to use the resources as much as we can.
I guess, Bryce, I'm gonna ask you then, does ever commission, let's talk to the commission, I guess, first. Do we expect to get this kind of fine, or aggregates, excuse me for saying that, because you call it that and I call it fine, so, man, that's just my opinion, but I don't know nothing.
There's so many different gradations and things out there. I took samples of it. I was gonna run down to Wichita and have them checked, but, we're trying to eliminate going out, or reduce going out of county, to have them ran by a professional company. And so we can compare them to what they gave me for gradations beforehand.
So this is what we're talking about here. So that for those who didn't see it, this is the rock that is from the road that we're talking about.
Well, and the only thing that I could say is that officially it's not a representative sample because it's not big enough. Just from what you sampled there.
And probably so. I'm just bringing this for the sake of the commission, but this is pretty much, I do have pictures of it as well.
I do too. I was out there, I took samples of it.
And for those that didn't go see it.
Because the size of the particles depends on how much you take for a sample. I mean, it's, typically at least 3/4 of a bucket, thereabouts. Because according to the policies for testing them, you have to split the sample and all the other stuff. We don't have the facilities and no one around here will do that.
And you did that. I saw you take some in the bucket.
Yeah.
You sent that off.
I have not,
Okay.
simply because the only place to get it is out of county.
Okay.
And based on our travel restrictions, we've tried to reduce that, but
Okay.
I still have the samples.
I did not get called
But
by,
I know that
I did
people are
not get,
probably going to ask.
Yeah. Jonah?
Okay, sorry. I know that people are probably going to ask, but are we going out and getting eyes on all the product that we're buying before we bring it back? I mean, at least sampling it that way.
Are we getting highs?
Eyes. So they go to
Eyes.
look.
We go to the brewery.
Yeah, you're gonna look at what you're buying?
No, we don't, and we based on that. I mean, yeah, if you want me to, I can go look at it. Again, a visual sample of a stockpile can give you whatever you want to say. When you stockpile aggregates, there's a lot of variability. You run on an average, if you want to say, that every time you test that, that's why everything has a range. Each different size of aggregate has a range, anywhere from like 10 to 30%, because there's no way that they can guarantee, or that when you do a test, that you can get exactly what's in that mix. So, I mean, it's a very long process on how to do that according to ASTM requirements and stuff. And so, like I said, that's the biggest thing, is getting that sample.
It's kind of like wheat on or a chaff on a wheat pile.
Yeah, similar to it, yeah.
Okay.
Can't really speak close to the microphone.
Yeah, Kent, go ahead.
referring back to that day, which was last Monday, I did not get a call from a commissioner. I got a call from Linda Peters for me to come out there immediately. I was in the middle of another short meeting and told her I'd get out there as quickly as I could. When I got out there, Randy and Bryce were both there. My visual of it was, yeah, it looks terrible. But Bryce also explained to me, you've got to go by a gradation. And so, you know, I didn't assume anything. On, I believe it was Thursday, the maintainer came to my place and told me that had really hardened out, and he really liked it. So that was his visual on it after he was able to, after it kind of dried a little bit, and he was able to get on it.
And as far as Jonah asked, to answer your question, to say we have eyes on this, every time we go out and get this material, I actually request initial gradations, and that's run by the quarry's quality control. They send me the latest tests they have on those gradations, and that's what we look at when we're selecting these rocks. So again, that's where the information comes from. So it wasn't like it was just a blind rock or whatever else. So, and I can give those to you if you guys are interested in looking at them. So, But like I said, if I can get these samples run, it'll show you what we have out there based on that test, so.
Bryce, have you seen, again, Linda Peters, they paid for their rock down there. When I visited and saw it, it was, I did not see any of that with that. Any of the particles, the smaller particles, there's some, but I did not see it to the amount. I almost would say that we was 50% particles and 50% larger rock.
Well,
I don't know if that's true just from viewing it from what was laying down.
You're going to get that simply because you have the large rocks and you have the very small rocks, and then you have everything in between. And everything in between is what accumulates most of that material. So like I said, I mean, I think the rock will be great, once we get it out there, but based, on the situation, we've decided to go back and just start hauling the local SS5 right now, just getting these muddy areas fixed up so people can get it out, so. Anyway, I can do whatever you want to. I guess I just want to keep working with the commission to try to get this straightened out, so.
Well, I guess my motion was the one that said that maybe I didn't explain it enough, but even though I went that afternoon and witnessed that road, that it was dry, and yeah, at a perfect time, I think it'd probably be a good place to do it on, but.
I guess that's the other thing. Have you been out to look at it since?
Yes.
I mean, that was 3 loads and,
Yes.
So.
Yeah, it was just 3 loads,
Yeah.
right. So you have X amount of tons waiting on that road yet?
You didn't finish your statement. I was waiting to hear what you were going to say.
Well, my statement was when I made the motion that I expected not nearly as much gradation or whatever that is, the smaller stuff, because that's weight that we have to haul. That's eliminating. It's eliminating our. I don't know whether it's different than the rock. I mean, bigger rock. If we would have the harder rock with no gradation in it, would we have more rock that would spread further?
You could go through and do a unit weight comparison. Most rock is figured anywhere from 125 to 130, 135 pounds per cubic foot. Yes, your weight is affected by moisture, but that's what everybody faces. I mean, when you put it on a scale, you pay for what's in that truck, moisture, mid-size fines, coarse aggregate, whatever else. So the only way to solve that is to go in and dry the material before you load it, and there's no way you can do that. So it is what it is. Sand is the same way.
Okay.
When you go get sand, you pay for a lot of water. You'll see when they load a truck, they'll have water dripping out of the back end of it. So it's the same. I mean, I wish there was a solution. Now, as far as the bigger rock compared to the smaller rock, again, the biggest problem we face is if you have the bigger rock and you don't have that binder, the mid-size with it, that rock will work all over the place.
And this was 1¼ that you ordered there?
I believe 1¼ yes.
And they don't have that without if they run that one more time to get all 1¼ without the fines, it's going to be another price, right?
Yes. And that not only the other price, but you won't get as much material then either. They have to produce more material to be able to, sell it too. So, like I said, I based those decisions on the rock they had available at the time, as well as the gradations that they had, and that's what we wanted to go with.
Do you have any other quarries that has the rock without this, that's within the price range?
Well, honestly, hardly any quarries have anything available right now. Burkamp, I was talking to an individual up around Lincolnville and said he tried to get rock from Burkamp on Friday and they had no rock available to the public other than what was contracted.
I'm talking about hard rock, I'm not talking about...
Well, but I'm just saying, every quarry's that way. Now, they are really set up to run the SS5 for us down here because we're trying to get caught up with that. Right. But again, it comes down to the fact is whenever I turn around and go back to them with, we're going to have to set up a certain amount of tons or whatever else if they're going to make that. They're like everybody else. They just don't make rock to make rock. They make rock to sell it to certain people. Right. So all the way from Screen East clear up to Big Rock. So
I guess, Commission, you've heard all of this. How do you feel? Jonah, start us off.
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna go back to what I thought my interpretation was when you made the motion. And I think that the public probably had the same interpretation as hard rock equals wash rock. Very little fines or aggregates, or I think the opinion of the public out there is we got product that dirt or that rock can mash into.
Correct.
I'll leave it at that.
Correct, okay. Bryce, is it fair to say that what I expected, if you know what I thought, I'm trying to tell you what I thought I expected, was this hard rock that may have 10% in it, and I would consider that 40 to 50% of that small stuff in it. I mean, that's just my opinion, Bryce.
I went, at the time we were looking at this, I went with what they had. Now, if you want me to, I can go back and see if they have any other rock available. We can adjust the prices. The haul rate's not gonna change. If that's what you want, I'll go back and see what they got.
I'm asking the rest of the commission now. Somebody else need to start?
I'll start, yes, I would like to do that, because I'm under the same impression that Jonah is in, I'm sorry, yes, the same, that's the same impression I have, and that's the impression that I get from the public. We were expecting hard rock, I wanna say clean, maybe not totally clean, but
Correct.
built the base, because our roads are, 3, 4, 5 inches deep in mud. And so everybody was assuming that this is the direction we were going, and maybe that's what caused some of the hysteria. I don't know, but that's what alarmed me when I saw it. So yes,
Okay.
I agree.
Okay, Dave?
Well, I would just like to be notified what's going on.
Okay.
I mean, if one commissioner contacts half, and I think they should contact everybody.
Well, we
I
can't.
sent that text
We
out.
can't.
Just a text.
No, you can't.
I can't
Legally.
contact everybody.
Okay.
If you're providing information
No,
and
we
saying,
can.
go look at something, you can do that. You can't make a decision outside
Well,
the
no,
meeting
that's
or
true,
have
but-
interaction between the majority, but
If
you
there's a
can.
problem.
Right, exactly. If you're notifying that, hey, there's a problem, we need to go, everybody
you
go
got time
look at
to go look
this,
at it, yeah.
and we'll discuss it on Monday, that's the appropriate way of interacting on it.
That's
Yeah.
called communications.
Right,
You know,
right.
just come in late and, I mean, but hard rock, right now there is no hard rock available probably because it's all being crushed and it rains on it every other day, so you're gonna get lots of moisture and it's not drying out, so.
I don't know if you know that.
Well, it's raining every other day on every rock pile.
Well, and then, the issue of raining every day really doesn't matter, because you put rain on a stockpile, it soaks down in there all the way through there, so you're gonna vary on moisture. Obviously the top, the outside is gonna be wetter than it will be at the bottom, so I mean, that's just a crapshoot.
Yeah, they're living their wet rock every morning because the water goes down.
Yeah.
I don't know. Tough deal.
Do you have any final, where you wanna go? Where
Well-
you wanna head? I mean,
None of us sitting here are professionals with rock. We've given a directive to Bryce what we're looking for. I think it's time to let Road and Bridge do their job and quit micromanaging.
Well, I would agree with that if the directive was followed.
I don't think you can say the directive wasn't followed. It may be by our site that we think it's not followed, but then when I get a maintainer that comes to me and tells me, that stuff is working great, who am I to believe?
yeah.
Well, let me go back and find out if they have other rock that's available for those quarries. I can get back with you individually, or to each one of you separately, whatever the case may be, or whatever, to let you know, and then whether it's individually giving you comments, or we wait till next week to make a change. If there is a change, then we can do that, so.
So where are we hauling rock from now?
Right now, it's usually Harshman's, if it's on the southern part, and we have Everett hauling out of Woodbine.
Okay, so the proposal then that you gave us a week or 2 or 3 ago with the bids that you took on the different truckers and stuff like that, we kind of put that aside temporarily?
Yes.
Okay, And then are we also continuing the test, because I noticed my test spot up in my district wasn't, I thought you said it was from 330th limestone going north, and I didn't see that. Have we kind of squashed that a little bit too?
Well, at this point in time, if we have people that can't get through there, we have the indecision on the rock, we decided to put SS5 or the 2-inch woodbine stuff in there to get people in and out, so.
So, let's ask the commission then, do we want to go ahead with the test spots with this rock, or like Kent said, just let Bryce do as he's got different rock he wants to try, or
He's gonna find what's available.
find what's available.
Well, let me just do that, and I'll get back with you.
Jonah's on scene.
Yeah,
I would like to stay with doing the test plots. I just want to make sure that if we all thought it was washed rock, we need to make sure that that's clear right now today.
It's not. I mean, it is, but it's not. It's not what we thought it was.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah, by definition, washed rock would be like concrete aggregate. I mean, there is no muddy stuff on there whatsoever. That's what you call a washed rock. Simply because that's why you do that. Is when you use washed rock, you'll also have washed rock and asphalt mixes, because you have to contain, you have to be able to, as close as you can, monitor the fines in that material, because concrete and hot mix asphalt vary so much on those amount of fines both ways. So that's what you consider washed rock.
Okay, well, I guess I'm, you know, rock. When you order 1 1/4 or 1 3/4 or 2 inch, you expect to see a lot of 2-inch rocks. That's what I'm getting at, I guess.
Yeah, what you do, like for instance, when we get 2-inch roadstone or whatever else, they're basically running it through a 2-inch crusher. And that's what you get. And that's why, you know, and again, it comes down to the fact is, you know, I've talked with several peers, and they've actually gone out and set up contracts with these guys, like we talked about, you know, the first part of the year is, and you specify exactly what you want. You tell them, I want this gradation, I don't want this, whatever else, and they'll make it for you. But again, that's gotta be contracted in, you know, 40, 50, 100,000 tons or whatever else. So,
right.
But anyway, that, like I said, that's, you know, that's what we have, so.
Is this price any difference? And we was picking up washed hard rock that comes from Ottawa out of Harshman's Quarries at 15 something a ton.
That's not washed though.
It's not.
It's clean.
Okay, so I do have a picture of what I consider to be washed rock, and it's 100% clean, and this person bought it for 10 something a ton. Thinking they set out of Melbourne. I'm not real sure. I'm going to try to find it here real quick, but I'll find it before the meeting is over. But it's 100% clean rock. I mean, when I say 100%, I don't see any of this stuff in there. And they just bought it the same week that we bought this stuff. I'm sorry, the week prior. And so I want to just see. It's entirely different, and they only paid 10 something a ton for it.
But I guess the other question is at what gradation?
It was big stuff. It was 2 inch or 1 3/4. It says the text message says.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, that's the whole thing too. Is you've got gradations to follow. You've got wash to follow. You've got the maximum nominal size. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff in there. So, but anyway, just let me check, see what they got, and I'll come back with you. And so.
I would like to, before the day is over, go into executive session with Bryce to discuss some personnel things. We don't have to do it at the moment if he doesn't have a commitment leaving here. If he's going to be in the courthouse, we can do it a little bit later, so we can continue on with however.
We've got county councilor on at 11 o'clock. I don't know whether.
I don't think he actually has any business. He just is trying to be available every week. So I haven't heard from him specifically as if he's going to be here in person or not.
Yeah, can I make a suggestion on that?
Yeah.
The next week we are planning to have payday plus. It's a pretty big day with Bryce already. Is there any possibility we can hold off on that till then?
This has nothing to do. This is
I'm
just.
just asking,
The short answer is no.
okay.
It is personnel performance, or what is it?
Yes, I don't have my list, I'll say, let's see.
Is executive session available with Jonah?
Yeah, I would like to have Joni in there.
Okay. I have.
Yeah, I'll say performance.
I have, Bryce, do you have anything else?
Nope.
And if county councilor don't get here till 11, we still have.
We don't know if he's coming.
We don't even know if he's coming, but how long are you looking at, Diane?
Maybe 5-10 minutes at most.
Okay. Well.
So maybe
Better make it for
if you could
15.
do it until 11, so we have time to transition back
Yeah.
and back in, so people know that to get back on at a
Correct.
certain time.
Correct. I'd like to make a motion, go into executive session with just Bryce and the commission and Jonah on video. For personnel matters for performance. Diane?
Yes.
Okay, pursuant to KSA 75-4319B, for 10 minutes for the commission, but we will not come back online till 11 o'clock straight up. So.
Second that motion.
Second by Jonah. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? None, unanimous.
Okay, so for anyone that's on the call, I will be ending this meeting, and then if you would like to come back afterward, please log back on at 11 o'clock.
So the picture you're looking at is the
I'm
one
sorry.
that I
I'm
was
gonna-
talking about for $10.50 a ton, that's clean.
So is that that looks like the rock we had out on?
Almost. We're almost there. Okay.
Somebody said.
Okay, I think we're good now.
You ready?
Yes.
Out of executive session, no decisions.
Oh wait, we're not ready.
We're not
I'm sorry.
ready.
One more thing.
Hang on.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay.
Now we're ready.
Now we're ready. We're back. Out of executive session, no decisions decided on. Nothing, no major decisions.
No, no action.
No action taken. And Brad is here. Bryce left. Brad, go ahead.
Okay. Not a great deal this morning since Friday. I've not gotten the counter from Diamond Vista at this point. As of this morning, they have not been in touch with us on that. Nothing else new on several of the other items. Quite frankly, a lot of stuff's just kind of frozen in place because we don't have a lot of activity going on right now. And if it's not an emergency circumstance, we're just not moving a lot of things in terms of the court system. I do have, I hate to do it each time, but I think I should keep you apprised. On active litigation, probably need a 5-minute executive just to apprise you of some changes since last Friday.
Can you hear on the computer? Can you hear Brad?
Can't hear him either.
That's all right.
I can hear Brad.
Okay, thank
good.
you.
Okay.
There we go.
This would be for attorney-client litigation.
Active litigation,
Active
yes.
litigation. Make a motion pursuant to KSA 75-4319B for going executive session with Brad and the commission for legal counsel on attorney-client, no.
Attorney-client privilege.
Attorney-client privilege.
This is active litigation discussion.
Purpose is active litigation. That's my motion.
How long?
How long are you going in for?
Yeah, how long, Brad?
I'd say 5 minutes is probably enough for this. It's just an update.
5 minutes. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second from Diane. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Jonah? Aye. Aye.
Okay, so the public will log back on at 11:10. Is that okay?
Yes, yes.
All right, 11:10.
will now be recorded.
Okay, I think we are back.
Okay, out of executive sessions, no action taken. We'll go on with the meeting. Public comments.
By time,
You got 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
So I think for public comment, for people on the call to be able to hear, we probably need the person speaking to go to the microphone over there.
That's a good call, Tina.
Mike Beneke, rural Northeast County. Upon being in Texas over the weekend, I did go to Falcon Tuesday morning. My observation of the rock in question was being dumped over existing rock just put there just a few days prior, so they were capping an existing new rock. I drove that, not the entire 4-mile stretch, but about 3 miles of it. When you get down to the last mile where the larger rock was placed, that road was very passable. Sections in between there that hadn't been touched yet were highly impassable. The observation from mine is, why did the road get that bad before anything was tried to be done? So that's where we're at. With a trip into Morris County Sunday morning early after the rain, some of their roads are similar to ours. Morris County Commissioner Diane Jost is, they have their issues as well. Can the public stay patient till we get drier weather? Not everybody has the big toys I have. Twice in the last 2 weeks, I've hired somebody to feed my cattle while I've bladed county roads with my machine to the tune of about 150 gallon of diesel fuel in 2 days of my time. And probably $250 paying to have my cattle fed by somebody else to help our immediate community. I hauled put over $3,000 worth of rock on a county road prior, over a month and a half ago. Just last week, at this point, I have over $1,000 charged to my name that went on blue stem just to make that passable this past week. They did start hauling some rock out of the Woodbine quarry, and I will tell you how irritated I am that they did not blade that road before they started dumping that rock. That is just unexcusable in my books. I don't care how short of help they are, what the conditions were. And that's my comment.
Thank you, Mike. And you haven't got the bell on you yet. You're still having those seconds.
It hasn't come yet.
Okay. All righty. Thank you, Mike.
So Mike, stay here just 1 minute. Go ahead. You don't have to eat yet.
I don't.
You don't have nothing to do, your restaurant's closed.
I gotta be in Abilene before 2 o'clock. Semi.
Okay. Any other public comment? There's nobody else here.
Hold on, let's see.
Oh, do all those people, are they public?
Yeah.
Yep, they sure are.
They joined the meeting.
Okay.
Anybody that's online or on the phone have a public comment?
I don't know who a couple people are, but there's a few on there that may have a comment.
Would someone online speak up and say their name, please?
I think they have to be unmuted.
I did unmute all, and it didn't do.
One of them was press.
Oh,
Okay.
okay, if anybody has anything to say, they have to unclick their unmute. There we go, Linda did. Linda, do you have something to say?
We are not hearing anything here, so if, I have Linda's line unmuted.
Okay.
Does anyone
Is there
online
anybody
or?
else?
gonna unmute all one more time. If anybody has a comment, then that would be the time. I don't know why it's not doing it, unless they've muted their own phone. Okay, I don't know.
I would,
Hit people up at the top.
we're gonna try one more thing here, hang on.
Okay. I,
Oh, see, Linda sent me a text, how can I call in? So she must wanna say something. Did you hear me, Jonah?
the phone number to call in is,
639.
no, that's the access code. So it's
Okay.
the 1-866-899-4679. If you don't have audio on your computer to where you can speak on the computer.
So we should
She
call
can see it
in.
on the
It's
screen.
right there on the screen. She should be able to see it if she's on her computer.
It's on the agenda, bottom towards the
Oh,
agenda,
no.
on the agenda.
Where'd I go? Sorry,
Right there.
I lost myself. Let me go back.
What phone number will they reach then?
The,
system.
it'll go to this,
Okay.
the
Go to
computer.
computer. Try calling 1-866-899-4679.
And there's an
Repeat
access
it.
code.
She said repeat it.
She said,
Okay.
repeat it.
1-866-899-4679.
You have to get the access.
And then the
code.
access code,
Okay.
which is
I'm
on,
gonna type it
Right
into the
below
chat
it.
box in case anybody else needs it.
And then the access code will be 639-484-901.
and the audio pin is
Yeah.
522.
Audio number is 522 star
pound.
522 pound.
No. Tina, can you open up your chat box
I did.
and then type that
Yeah, it went away.
phone
One,
number and all that?
yep.
Cell phone.
66, what is it?
What do you want?
866.
866-899-4679. Access code.
I see. Oh, wait, okay, posted it.
Sorry. Okay, access code.
639-484-901.
Audio pin
522.
522 pound.
Access code had a pound on it too.
Does it?
Not on my agenda. Maybe that's the problem. Does the access code have a pound?
That's what I thought when I had my glasses on.
522 pound.
Yeah, but no, when I call it conference call them.
The access code does have one
Yeah, it
listed there,
does.
space.
But
on it.
it'll probably ask them for it. It'll
Mhm.
prompt them
Yeah,
for
it'll
it.
just hold it until they get
Okay.
it.
So is Jonah muted now?
He's muted himself.
Oh.
Yeah, I muted myself just in case the dog barks or something.
So what was pin number 522?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
522 pound.
Hear me? Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Hold on, sorry, I'll go back in.
It said I've been being recorded.
Okay, try talking again.
Hello, 1, 2, 3.
I don't know what NR is.
Okay, I heard Jonah now.
Can you turn it up?
Jonah, can you hold that closer to your computer microphone? Or she can call into the county phone number and I can put her on speaker.
I hear it coming through your
Which is
phone.
this one I use the LFP, which I assume is her. Can you click on that?
Click on what? Okay, hold on 1 second, we can't hear you.
See if that brings them live.
What's LFP?
Oops, that's Linda. I'm just going by the initials.
So,
That's Laura Paulus, this is Linda.
Oh,
but,
okay.
okay, so it's coming through his phone. Is that interfering anything?
Me and Jonah's got it on the phone now.
Okay, hold on. Let me see if my Bluetooth connection went away. If it's coming through the phone, we may have to put it by a microphone because it's not coming through on here. Let me see real quick.
That's correct. Generic.
That's not.
Yes, audio.
That's what this should be coming through on the speaker. Okay, it might be better just to have Linda call in on the county.
You got a phone number?
Phone number?
What?
Call Linda, tell her to call on your phone, put her on speakerphone.
Oh.
Or she can call in on the county.
Right, that's what I was trying to
Just have her
recommend.
call in on the county line.
Okay.
Hey, Jonah? Jonah? Hey,
He's talking to her.
Okay.
I have, I'm on the phone.
I got it.
Have her call.
I have to call the county number.
382.
It was working.
Yes,
Technology is awesome.
Two cans of the spring.
Oh, my God.
Hang on, I'm stuck. Oh, it's somewhere. Where's that? Somewhere.
382-2185.
Something's hooking on that chair.
Oh, you got it wrapped around the chair here.
Down on the legs too?
No, it's through here.
There we go. There you go. Technology. Gee. There you go. Take that thing and run.
Should work.
Well, on the lighter moment, I still need to know if we need 5-man teams for the goat milking at the fair this summer, or whether we're staying with 3.
Hope we have the fair.
We'll have to get the.
We'll still have to go somewhere whether we have a fair or not.
I can just call her. What's her phone number? If she
Oh,
wants to be on.
okay, let me get her phone number.
That's my fastest.
654 something.
Well, that helps. Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, it is 620-947-0240. That's the phone number.
Just got a cell phone.
Oh, now she's on the line.
Can't hear in here.
Hopefully she'll pick this up since she's on the line. Let her know that we're calling her.
Every 10 minutes, 15-minute phone.
Is she on?
Did
Do you want a cell phone number? Is that what she's on?
Ashley's talking to her.
Okay.
Jonah's talking.
Yeah, I can't even hear Jonah now.
Got it all screwed up.
Let me see if I can just turn that speaker off. Did you? Let me just turn that off and see if it'll go back to the computer audio. I don't know what happened with the sound.
Now he's muted again.
Okay. Well, we're having a difficulty with the audio in the room here. Still can't hear you, Jonah. Can we? Yeah, call here.
Well, I hope she
The
has
problem
something
though
very important
is
to
that we
say.
can't hear anyone now, so.
I bet so.
We're talking about the roads.
Were you out driving around on the roads a couple
Huh?
days ago?
What?
Were you out driving around on the
Yeah.
roads a couple days ago, kind of down by the, what was that, Alexander Wool Church area? Going west?
No,
No?
I don't know where that's at.
Oh, that's on Highway 15.
Just
Yeah.
past north of Gossel.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, no.
Okay.
There's lots of trucks like mine.
Oh.
Truck ain't dirty enough.
I
Yeah.
keep it clean. I know where the car wash is right out here.
I wish you'd rock Dick McClendon's road so his mud quits falling off on my driveway.
Telling you park in the same spot every day.
He does.
Okay.
It says
About
on
every
the
3 days,
spot.
we gotta take a wheelbarrow and a shovel.
I don't know. She's not. Well, county clerk's office. Hi.
Maybe
Okay,
it's our
hold
time
on.
limit
Let
on
me
the
see if I
meeting.
can get you on the screen. I don't know why the audio isn't coming through anymore. You can hear it on the call itself, but you can't hear it in the room here. So I'm gonna put you on speakerphone and turn it up by the microphone. Okay, just a moment. Okay,
All right, can you hear me?
yes.
Yes.
Good, good. One of the things I guess I just want to clarify is, Mr. Profit, you asked why you weren't notified, and I text or I sent an email to Randy and also to Kent and also to Jonah about Falcon, because each one of you have, your district is on that road. So you all kind of have ownership of that, of Falcon. So that's one of the reasons why, Mr. Crowfoot, I didn't notify you. And Diane was actually notified by the trucker. So anyway, so I just wanted to kind of clarify why 3 county commissioners were notified and why you weren't. But if you want me to have your phone on speed dial, I'll sure do that too. So no problem. But anyway, and I also wanted to talk to you also about what Mike said, in that the road had been put some bigger rock on the day before that the Hartford rock showed up. So again, on those places, they topped it with that hard rock. And yeah, that might work really well, but I didn't understand that we were going to rock the whole road and then put that blue rock or the harder rock on those roads. So that's kind of where, on Falcon, where they did dump those loads, there had been rock put there to build the base. But, and again, I gave, many weeks ago, I gave you a price sheet, which I had called around to the different quarries and ask about the rock and what the county could get. And when I called Hartford, you're absolutely right. They don't make clean rock there. They make AB3. We had some of that hauled into, privately bought and brought into the, one of our farms and actually dumped it there, and also then took the same from Melbourne and brought some clean rock to see the difference. And then shared with all the county commissioners that you could come and look at it. And I also told the road bridge they could also take a look at it, that it was fine, because that gave you an idea of what you're buying. So I think that was a concern. And what we found was the Melbourne clean rock and the Hartford rock, by the time it was hauled, actually ended up being the same price. I mean, I've got a ticket that shows exactly hauled what each one of those cost, and it ended up being about $22 a ton of that rock. So hands down, if you looked at the two, you probably, given our road situation, you would probably want the cleaner rock. So, you know, I guess I'm questioning why, when they haul the quarries and they don't have what they want, why are we still just bringing something from a quarry because we want to use that quarry? If they don't have the specs that we need on these roads, I'm trying to understand that. So, and that's what was the statement that was made earlier, was, well, they didn't have what we really need, but we had them bring something that they had to try on the road. So I think I agree with you that what was put on that road might hold up right there, but you understand there was several loads of base rock put there before they put that, the one with the more fines in it. So, and the other question I had was, you know, I had asked a couple weeks ago whether we could have clarification, the requirements of the different levels of graders. There's a level 1, level 2, and level 3. I would like to see that. Mr. Dalkey, you remember I didn't ask you to have him clarify, but just would like to have what those positions hold and what are the requirements to be in each of those. So, anyway.
Yes.
That's all I got.
Okay, thank you, Linda.
Hey, sorry about the technical difficulty.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah, we're on maiden ground here, maiden voyage. Dave, you made that statement. Did I not call you at 5:07 p.m. that evening and tell you we was stopping the rock? And that I said we were just going to get people in and out?
Yes.
Yeah. That was notification that evening. But I made a direct phone call to you because you wasn't on no text or nothing else.
Yeah.
So that's, yeah, I look back.
Because I would notify that
yeah.
we were stopping
yeah.
the test spots.
Right, because I wanted everybody to know.
Remember in the room here to talk into your microphones.
Okay.
Okay, because I don't think they probably could hear you, Dave.
Yes, I was notified that we were stopping all test plots.
At that time, yeah.
At that time.
And to be talked about, it's supposed to be Friday, but we got so much going right, we didn't talk about it. Anybody else have anything else? That's public comments. Is that it, Tina, as far as you see out there?
I don't see anything.
Okay.
Nobody called in.
Jonah, we can't hear you again.
You can't hear me?
I can't hear Jonah.
Oh.
Did you say something, Jonah?
Sign
Okay.
language again.
Yeah.
His box lit up.
Yeah.
I know, it's lit up, but it's not working.
Okay. Well, I'm going to move on to commission comments. No. One that I'm going to start this off, and the rest of you can get into is Diane, I heard you say continue with the test plots for the 2 miles. Is that?
No, that was Jonah said that.
Okay, Jonah. Okay.
Jonah made that comment.
All right. That's what are we going to put on them? I mean, what do you want to do with it? Do you want to finish, like he says he has a rock for that, with the rock with the
Can I get Jonah to try to say something? Jonah,
Yeah.
can you say something? Okay, we can't hear you.
Can he call in, like she did? So we can move on?
Okay,
one ring each?
can you say something again, just a quick test?
Yes.
Yeah,
Jonah,
he's
you
here.
hearing? You must not hear us.
Not so much.
Can you call in, Jonah? 382-2185. Sorry, it was working great. I think going into executive and
Yeah.
coming back kind of messed us up.
Yeah, okay.
He's calling.
That's one thing. The other thing is, you know, I was gonna talk about a little more roads and where we was at. I will make the comment to the public that, you know, over this time, over the last few weeks, and I'll bet you every one of us five could tell you this, is that when we get a call from
Is this
somebody.
Jonah? Okay, hold on one second. Okay, can you hear us?
Yep.
Okay, we can hear you now.
When we get a call about a road, we sort of value, you know, when somebody calls, whether they've continually called and not got nothing done, whether they first-time callers and haven't called forever. And sometimes I don't get a chance to look at what they're talking about before I talk to Bryce, or just say this person's called. The other day, a person called that said they'd called 30 days ago, and then a week ago, and then the day before. And I come down and checked with the Road and Bridge office, and the secretary, while they was having the meeting right up here, found their name on the list that was going to be coming up. It just had not got done yet because due to the weather and things, but anyway, they was on the list. But when I did go drive that road, their bad road was not near what other bad roads are. And our Road and Bridge boys, Bryce, come on in. Our Road and Bridge boys have to make this decision whether a bad road's a bad road, or a road it's bad to the person that lives there, but maybe they've never had a rut in their road. And we have a lot of people with a lot of ruts in their road, so our guys are faced with making decisions how bad a road is in specs all over the county. And this road that I was in reference to, I drove 35 miles an hour down and did not find no ruts where somebody said they'd got stuck. So that's the facts of our guys, what they face. And then there's roads that I know, because I've drove them, that the ruts are 8 inches deep. And so anyway, I just want to let the public know that, I hope you understand that the same standards for you, we have to determine what a road is, how bad your road is. And we have people maybe in a worse standard than the next guy may be in worse shape than what you are. So just please take us under consideration when you're making those calls.
I also received a call last week from a person that I drove out to and had the same logic. I was driving 35 mile an hour and in a pickup, and you know, it would be hard to pull a crew off and say you've got to get over there when they had what I determined to be easy access out.
Yeah, I know. I think every one of us has had that. It's tough to make that decision, and Bryce, it's a tough job. We stand behind you to help make those decisions too. So I just want to state that. But and then I think that's my last comment. I'll let somebody else comment.
I would be in favor of continuing the test plot.
Okay. Okay. With the rock that we have scheduled.
I'll go by Bryce's determination on that.
Okay.
If that's what he wants to use, then I'll stand behind him.
Okay.
I'll second it.
Okay.
I don't think there was a
No
motion.
motion, it's
He
just comment.
Consensus.
I think I'm gonna just forego the comment on that and just, cause I don't know, I think, I was very much in favor of it. I was very much in favor of it, but so much time has passed, and now that you changed the format of going forward, and I think Bryce has put enough rock on the roads for the different places at different areas. He probably already has a good idea, I'm thinking. I know the roads that were designated up in my area, to be the test, still haven't got any rock on them for the test, but we've seen it from different areas, he probably already has. So I'm gonna just say I don't care one way or the other.
If Bryce determines that we need some base rock before we put the good rock down, would he have the okay to do that?
Well, I would hope he would.
Okay.
That's his
So, that's part of his job, I just wanna make sure that we're all on board, so that if he hauls some SS3 out there and put a base rock to get down, get them over, and then put this over it, why?
And I think last meeting, I remember somehow we said go ahead and do what he was doing, was in the emergency situation, I think we said 60 days or something like that to get walk on these roads, and I remember saying 2-3 times, and then we'll put the hard rock over the top, and then we'll put the hard rock over the top. So I think we've already established.
Okay.
I was under the impression
Okay.
that
good
we
enough.
already established.
I'm bringing it out again, I want
Okay.
Bryce to be clear, so there's no problems. Any other commission comment?
I have one other comment. Mike had made his comment that he had put rock on the roads on 290th or something. And I'm just wondering, since I know the regulations and stuff as far as when farmers or ranchers or whatever, people buy rock and rock their own road, we made the policy that we don't reimburse them for that. Okay, and I got that. In this particular case, I'm just wondering, and bring it before the commission, he put rock on the county road for other people, and I know he had contacted Bryce about it, so, and I don't know the particulars or the details, but I know Bryce was aware of it, and I'm just wondering if in this case he should not be reimbursed for the rock that he purchased. Is the rock still on that road by any chance? Did it last? It didn't last, it's already gone?
Well, they brought some.
Because you got it from Burkamp.
No, Friday they were hauling from Woodbine.
I don't think
on that
anybody can
290.
probably hear what he's saying. He's gonna have to come up here.
Oh, crap.
Okay, so I guess my question is, of the rock that you bought, of the rock that you put on, that they billed to you, that you put on the county road, is that rock still on the road?
We applied that rock, I think Thursday, week and a half ago. And that was just to spot in. We took a load of 1x4 to the mud hole by Dan Peterson's driveway, capped it with 1.5" clean, as well as 9 other loads 1.5" clean on that 2-mile stretch. As of Friday, Everett's had brought rock from Woodbine for that entire stretch. They didn't quite get it all covered. But what I did was give accessibility that week, and
Was it a hole you filled in?
well, at this point, there's over, there's 35 plus at least 30, so there's 65 ton of rock in a spot that's 75 feet long, and it still has an issue. So, I mean, what's sad is it deteriorated to that point before anything was done, when they've known for months that that was the bad spot.
So my only question is, since he hauled it for the county roads to help during that bad rainy spell, should we reimburse him for just that rock, that he put it at other people's? That's just a question that I have. Because it's not like he bought it and put it at his place like he normally does. That's why I want to know. So I'm assuming from what you said
It
that
helped
rock.
my neighbors access for over almost a 2-week period before that was started to be rocked last Friday. Plus bladed it multiple times over a 3-week period.
So I want to ask Bryce.
That's fine.
Bryce, is that,
Whatever the
were you
decision.
aware of that he was doing that and gave permission, or was it something that we as a commission should consider reimbursing him? Well, I want to know what your opinion is on it.
Well, first of all, Mike called and told me that, and I said, well, I appreciate it, we just hadn't got up there. I told him about the rock.
Okay,
I said,
I'm sorry, we're gonna need Bryce to speak here. Come speak into a microphone, nobody can hear you. Just be careful. Don't like to knock everything down.
Don't start singing now.
Okay.
This is not karaoke. Mike called me and told me about that. I knew he was blading up there. He was dropping the rock down. He asked me about getting reimbursed, and I said, well, at the time, before the decision was made, is we weren't allowed to put Burkamp rock on the road.
Right.
So at the time I said, I can't reimburse you for that. Now, if the commission makes a decision otherwise, but I guess the other thing is, it brings up the issue that if you do it for Mike and like I said, that's your decision. What about everybody else that's done that too? So.
Right, and I wasn't saying rock that he bought and put on his own road. I would say what he did for the county. And I'm just asking if this should be an exception or not. And whatever the commission decides is fine with me. I just didn't know if the commission was aware of it. And that's my only point right there. So I really don't care one way or the other what the commission decides. And I would certainly be opposed to paying for rock that he purchased to do his own feedlot road like he had in the past. Because we did already make a ruling on that, make a resolution on that.
Well, I think what Mike did was to try to help a neighbor out. I know their situation a little bit, but I think that if we do have someone that, a neighbor that helps out another neighbor that's not able to get out or has a accessibility problem and need to get to a doctor or something like that, and they go out and haul a couple of loads for them on a county road, I wouldn't have a problem with reimbursement for that, but not for their own.
Do you see any legal issues with that, Brad? You do?
All kinds, yeah.
Okay. Well, then I guess, okay, then I'll retract my comments.
It's not a matter of fairness, and I understand the reason for the question. We would need to readdress that policy and establish a bunch of what-ifs.
Oh, Lord.
And that's where I start to immediately get somewhat concerned. And if you're going to equitably apply it, I have no question in this case what was done for the benefit of another, and with all good meaning, and I don't have any issue with why you're asking it at all. But if you do want to do that, then we really do need to take that policy and make it about 3 times as long.
50 times bigger.
Yeah.
Real quick, like, Diane, would this be the case then? If Bryce knew that his truckers was not going to be able, and he witnessed the spot or something, and he said, I would give you permission to take 2 loads and dump in the mud hole or whatever, what kind of policy would we have if that was done?
Well, I think our policy states that if they come before us and get permission, that is an exception.
Yeah, I mean before us, but I'm talking about Bryce in a situation if Bryce runs across this. I want to give Bryce the okay to if he does. So
does it say the commission or does it just say permission?
I'd have to look to be sure. It definitely says permission. I think I brought it before the commission for a reason. Not because you can't delegate that to the department head, you can. The minute you do it though, and Mike, for example, might not even intend for this to be the case. He's become an agent of the county. If he gets into an accident, if somebody hits him, then we've got all the issues of what coverage we can provide to him. Even if he doesn't ask for it, we have a duty to provide it. Puts us in a position of liability in him as well. He suddenly has some duty that's just like any other driver for the county, which really isn't what he intended to take on. He's just trying to get a couple load of rock and take it over somewhere. So it creates complications running both ways.
And the sad part to me is that Mike knows he's got insurance and coverage, but if he accidentally hits somebody, the other person don't care.
That's right.
I mean, they'll leave him alone, and then they'll come to us, and then they'll come to somebody else. That's where we're headed to this, correct?
Well, his carrier sometimes is going to care too. Well, wait a minute.
Yeah.
We're insuring you driving your truck, but weren't you doing this for some like a commercial hauler? And in those instances,
and any direct route to any farm, leased or owned, they have coverage.
Yeah. And so it's just a matter of then we deviate from that and so, well, technically.
My dump truck has lights just like the county's trucks, so they're on when we're dumping. The motor grader has lights that blink.
My bigger concern is if someone else decides they want to come after him, we really have a duty of indemnification.
Yep.
Then we have, the K-Camp's going to say, wait a minute, you're getting independent contractors, you know.
Yeah. Okay, well, and I respect that and appreciate that. I just brought it up, but I.
And Bryce commented that he didn't have the right to purchase rock.
Okay, so, then I'll just go ahead and withdraw my comments on that.
Aren't we under the same responsibility with the people that we're having independent contractors haul for us now? I mean,
They have a contractor's policy.
They have their own insurance and they have to provide it.
And that insurance is specifically, they as a commercial form of trade do this type of hauling. And they do it specifically for that purpose. And if they do it for us, it's contractual in nature, not an oral agreement on a one-time basis.
yeah, but I'm just saying, if they got into an accident, they're gonna sue us anyway.
Maybe, but we're gonna immediately go back to their policy because they're required in order to work for us.
Their policy would be the first provider.
Yeah, it's primary, we'd be tertiary.
Okay.
Nothing's easy in this world. Nothing's ever
Nope.
easy in what we try to do.
I just hope the public has
It is.
some calmness at times, even though I get upset as well.
Well, yeah,
I do appreciate it, though. I know your heart was in the right place.
correct. And
Yeah.
and we'd all like to give him permission. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't feel none one of us or anybody out here that's got that same issue. But
I got my learner's permit out of the Cracker Jack box
Yeah, it's
35 years
expired.
ago. It
It's
may have
expired.
expired by now.
any other commission comments?
Jonah says he does.
Who?
Jonah.
Oh, speak up there, young man.
Okay.
I don't know if it's coming through,
It
Yes.
is on the phone.
but I wanted to get away from it. Okay,
Oh, it's a better picture now.
this the washed rock thing.
Yes,
And
go
the
ahead.
perception of the public. I think we really need to clarify that and make sure we getting clean, non-rubble rock for the test strips.
What procedure do you want to go through, Jonah, to get to that?
Well, I'm hoping that Bryce understands, and we don't have to put it any further than that. I just
Okay.
that we're clarified.
Okay.
He's nodding yes.
Clarification is in screened rock, not washed rock, I think. That's pretty simple to justify.
I'm clarifying, Jonah.
How can Bryce move ahead if he has a place to go? Just, we give him the okay to go right ahead, don't we?
He's nodding yes.
No.
We
I
can.
think we should let him have to go ahead. I just hope he takes everything in today.
Okay. We'll see you at the next meeting, the 31st.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Right now, I have no reason not to be there. So.
Okay.
There's nothing else, just to get out of the house.
Okay, all righty. Okay, well, sorry you have to stay there and keep looking at us through the screen, and we look at you through that screen. We want to see you in person and healthy and wealthy, so, well, healthy anyway.
So may I bring up another subject matter, since you just said, see you on the 31st. So we still have the insurance to deal with, and we haven't, I was intending it to be on the meeting today, but it's not there. But the last communication that I had is perhaps Wednesday or Thursday, a presentation will be ready to give for us for the employee health insurance. So I just want to mention, I don't know what's going to happen, but maybe a special meeting or something, or I'll ask Tina, can we wait on that till the 31st? I know we are running out of time, but I know the work has been done.
Right, I heard from Sally this morning, because we hadn't heard anything, but she did mention that she should have everything later this week, as a proposal. So I was going to ask the board if you want to do that, or if you want to wait until Tuesday.
No, if it's possible this week, let's get it done. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my, let's get it done.
Well, yeah, I'm thinking the because I know they're really pushing the envelope now, but.
And I think commission, it's down to shorter time, and then I think there was comment made this morning, and I'll let that person make that comment that was made to me. And we was just wondered where we was at on it. So.
You made that comment.
Kent made a comment about it, and
I made a comment about it, and it's not that I don't want to pursue a new policy or a more feasible policy. We already know how far over the budget that we are, but we're also in a pandemic, and is it best for us to go ahead and change policies in the middle? Not saying that the new coverage wouldn't take care of everything, but, you know,
One pre-existing condition.
there's going to be there's going to be a certain amount of anxiety by doing that in the current situation that we're facing. So it's just another thing to think about.
It's nothing for me to think about, because when you have these type
Okay,
of
we
group
know,
insurances.
we know, Diane, so.
Well, Ken, seriously, when you get into these group insurances, they take all the pre-existing, am I right? I'm sorry, Bryce, Brad. They take all the pre-existing conditions and stuff, so that should not be a stress or a concern for anybody to consider.
And I don't think that's the point. I think the point is the situation we're in here is getting right down to this coronavirus and changing over. What does that, I mean, what does it do? I mean, how much?
It's also gonna cause some issues for the clerk's department to get everybody
on board,
signed up, gone through. Of course, there's gonna be some of that anyway.
We'll do whatever we have to do here,
And I have no doubt
regardless.
that they can, they're an excellent, they have all the tools, and they can take care of the responsibilities efficiently. I have no doubt on that at all. But again, I'm looking at, with what you brought up, the coronavirus expenses. I mean, one leads to another, to another, to another. I mean, ultimately, we're gonna get ourselves in a bind if we don't start pinching pennies.
Dave?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of like a kid. I'd hate to change horses in midstream right now, because we know what we have now.
So you're gonna spend $8,000.
And we've got some of this increased already into the budget for next year. So it's not taking the whole thing. It just, would Tina and them have time to look at it before we come to a meeting and tell us? We can't have her show up and present us without us looking at it beforehand. Is that correct?
I didn't understand what you said.
I mean, she can't walk into the room and say, here it is, and we make a decision that day.
That's what we always do, yes, usually. When we get the proposals in front of us, we look at them.
It's hard to compare. I mean, somebody with more expertise.
So what I have often done in the past for the board and for the employees is to do a comparison between the proposals and get that out so people understand what's the same, what's not the same. And that particular piece I probably won't have time to do for the board. So if that's what you're asking, but I mean, I will do my best if that's helpful, but.
It'd be nice if we had a committee of employees look at it for 24 hours before we present it to the board.
And actually, I think Sally is preparing to give the summary of the insurances, enough of those that can be passed out to the employees that they can read it just in a simple fashion so that they can understand what is being provided. Because of the shortness of time, I did ask that, and that was a simple thing to send out. And all of our employees can read those simple things. I mean, it's not that tough. We're in it this far, we waited this long, and now the proposals are about ready. So why would we not proceed, especially since Tina has consulted at her office?
I think we will. We just need to get them here as quick as possible.
Okay.
Call a special meeting.
That's what I was saying. That was my point. We might need to call a special meeting.
We'll see when the information comes in.
Everybody's available the rest of this week?
I'll make myself available. It's important.
Yeah, we're not supposed to travel. Just stay home.
Yeah, I'm available.
Jonah, what's your thoughts on this? You didn't say anything.
Yeah, I think we should review the policies.
Is that the dog?
Yeah, my daughter decided to let him out.
He's adorable.
I'm here. Don't forget me.
Corgi? At least it's not a child trying to stick your
Okay,
butt
so
in your
you
ear.
said you're in favor of going ahead with it, right? Looking at the policies.
Yeah, I'm in favor of, we asked him to bring us something. We should at least honor that and review it.
Yes. If Tina, if they can get a special meeting this week, 26, 27, 25, 26, 27, whatever. Give us Wednesday through Thursday, or Friday, Wednesday through Friday.
She thought it may be Thursday or Friday.
Okay.
Before they would have everything together. So,
Okay.
I mean, the other option is to send it out so that you all can review it and the employees can review it and then do the presentation on your regular meeting.
Is that good?
I don't have a preference. It's up to you.
Board?
Would be nice to get information out to the employees.
Yes, yes. Johnny, you want to try that? Try getting the info out to the employees and then review it on the 31st?
Yeah, I'm sure with whatever. I don't care if we have a special meeting. It's whatever. I'm here till the 28th. I'll take all the extra activity I can get.
You got your hands full with that critter beside you. Let's do that, Tina.
Okay.
Get with her, if we can get the information to the employees, and we'll review it the 31st.
Okay, and if I happen to get it tomorrow, then I could still get it out and maybe we look at doing something on Friday, who knows, but
Okay.
it kind of depends on when we get it.
Okay.
Because if we don't get it till Thursday or Friday, you know, what's another couple of days?
Yeah. Wait till Tuesday.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you have any other final business that you want to talk about, Tina?
No, but I will send out the guidance from the Attorney General about the open meetings, because at some point you may not be able to be in this room. And we can still function. They've given us the ability to do that. We have to do some different notification process, and we have to make sure that everybody has the ability to participate. And so we would follow all of those actions. So we'll have to just see how that all shapes up. And I have only glanced at it. I haven't read it deeply.
Okay.
So.
Any final decision, or Bryce, you have anything?
No, something for Brian.
Okay. If nothing else, I'd entertain a motion to. Unless you have something.
No, go ahead.
Okay. Make a motion to adjourn. Second by Kent. All those in favor? Aye. Aye. We're adjourned.
Okay,
Yep.
thanks, Shannon.